Stop talking about the past. The hose water origin story is done. That was just the prequel. You thought the forgotten generation would quietly clock out while the world burned. You thought wrong. While everyone else was screaming on social media, we were busy taking over. It is 2026, and we are the operating system. We are the servers, the supply chain, and the logic. We didn't just survive the neglect, we leveraged it. Welcome to the Heathen Empire. Let's look at the scoreboard for 2026. If you open the news, it's the same old story. Boomers are living to 110 and bankrupting the pension funds, or Gen Z is traumatized by the concept of a 9 to 5, or millennials are still waiting for the housing market to crash so they can buy a starter home at age 42, and there we are, the silent demographic, the ghost in the machine. The media ignores us, the politicians rarely poll us, and honestly, that is exactly how we like it. In 2026, invisibility is a tactical advantage. While the other generations are fighting for visibility, we are fighting for control. And we have it. We are currently occupying the absolute sweet spot of history. We are the bridge between the analog and the digital, the past and the future, the hard and the soft. We are old enough to remember how the physical world works. We know about combustion engines, copper piping, and face-to-face negotiation, but we are still young enough to dominate the digital one. We have the capital, we have the experience, and most importantly, we have the apathy. Let's talk about that apathy. For decades, they called us cynical. They called us the whatever generation. They treated our detachment like a character flaw. But in the year 2026, apathy is a superpower. Look around, the world is hysterical. The boomers left the geopolitical landscape in a dumpster fire. The climate is angry, the markets are bipolar, panic is the default setting for everyone else. But us, we don't spiral. When the market dips, we don't panic sell. We expect the dip. We lived through 1987. We lived through the dot-com bubble in 9/11. We lived through 2008. We know that the graph goes up and the graph goes down. We just pour another cup of coffee and wait. When the power goes out, we don't have an existential crisis. We check the breaker box. We light a candle. We enjoy the silence. We are the designated drivers of civilization right now. We are the adults in the room. We are the only ones left who understand that you cannot tweet your way out of a supply chain crisis. You cannot manifest a profit margin. We are the generation of brutal pragmatism. And in a world drowning in feelings, pragmatism is the new gold standard. Let's stop talking about boardrooms for a second. Let's talk about the real world. The world you can touch. There is a myth that Gen X is just a smaller version of the boomers sitting in corner offices. But the real power of the Heathen Empire isn't just in the C-suite. It's in the crawl space. It's under the hood. It's on the scaffolding. Gen X is currently the masterclass of the skilled trades. Think about it. The boomers have largely retired, hanging up their tool belts to go drive golf carts. The generations below us, they were told that manual labor was a failure. They were pushed into universities to get degrees in communications, marketing, and feelings. They don't know how to hold a hammer. They don't know how to weld. They don't know how to change a light bulb. That leaves us. We are the master electricians. We are the lead carpenters. We are the senior mechanics. We are the plumbers who know exactly why the pipes in a 1950s building are screaming. We are the guardians of the infrastructure. In 2026, this makes us royalty. You can have all the AI in the world, but AI cannot fix a burst pipe at 3 a.m. ChatGPT cannot rewire a blown transformer during a snowstorm. An app cannot frame a house. For those of us in the trades, the feral childhood wasn't just character building, it was vocational training. We grew up fixing our own bikes. We grew up holding the flashlight for our dads while they cursed at the radiator. We earned merit badges and skills that actually matter: fire, steel, and knots. The Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts taught us that be prepared is the only difference between a victim and a survivor. We learned that if you want something to work, you have to put your hands on it and make it work. And now, we are naming our price. If you're a Gen X tradesman in 2026, you aren't just a worker. You're a wizard. You possess knowledge that is effectively extinct. You are the mentor, the foreman, the guy everyone looks at when the blueprint doesn't match the reality. While the world is obsessed with the knowledge economy, we are running the physical economy. And let me tell you, the physical economy is the one that keeps you alive. So, to the Gen Xers with dirt under your fingernails, grease on your coveralls, and knees that click when you stand up, you are the spine of this empire. Without you, the Zoomers don't have houses to complain in, and the Millennials don't have electricity to charge their cars. If you are one of the ones keeping the lights on, electrician, carpenter, welder, mechanic, plumber, or another trade, sound off in the comments. Put your trade down. Let the algorithm see exactly how many of us it takes to run this country. Now, let's look upstairs at the white-collar world. For 20 years, they told us the millennials would revolutionize the workplace with beanbags and empathy circles. But a funny thing happened. On the way to the revolution, the boomers got tired, and the millennials got overwhelmed. So Look at the C-suite in 2026. Look at the founders. Look at the managing directors. Who is actually sitting in the big chair? It's us. Gen Xers founded 55% of today's startups. We hold the majority of C-suite roles globally. The average age of a CEO hire is 53. That is us. We run businesses with a philosophy that is a direct, linear result of our latchkey childhoods. That feral autonomy taught us that we don't need a consensus meeting to decide what to order for lunch. We don't need a round of applause for doing the job we were hired to do. We are the fixers. When a crisis hits a company, we don't need a mental health day to process the trauma of a falling stock price. We just fix it, because we know that no one is coming to save us. We are the silent overlords of the corporate world. We don't need to be the thought leader on LinkedIn. We just want the P&L to be green so we can go home, pour a drink, and ignore you people. We are suffering from what economists call the loyalty tax. We stay in jobs longer than anyone else. We are the corporate memory. We know where the bodies are buried because we buried them. Let's get real for a second. Let's cut the master of the universe talk. Not every Gen Xer is a CEO. One, not every Gen Xer is a master electrician naming their price. A lot of us are just tired. There is a massive segment of our generation that the media completely ignores. The grinders, the ones who didn't get the stock options, the ones who got hit by the layoffs in 2008 and never fully recovered, the ones who are working 2 jobs in 2026 just to keep the lights on. But this is where the true grit comes in. If you want to see the soul of Generation X, don't look at the guy in the Porsche. Look at the single mom working the night shift who hasn't missed a payment in 10 years. Look at the guy driving the delivery truck who is barely making rent but still shows up 10 minutes early every single day. We are the generation that knows how to take a punch. We don't have the luxury of quiet quitting. We don't have the safety net to move back in with our parents. Our parents are moving in with us. We don't post GoFundMes when we have a bad month. We just tighten the belt. We figure it out. For many of us, the Heathen Empire isn't a throne, it's a fortress, it's a bunker. We are fighting to make it because fighting is all we know. We were raised in a world that told us we weren't special. We were raised in a world that didn't give out participation trophies. So when life hits us hard in our 50s, we don't fold, we don't break, we just crack our knuckles and get back to work. That is our superpower. It's not wealth, it's indestructibility. You can strip a Gen Xer of their job, their savings, and their status, and we will still find a way to survive. We are the generation that simply refuses to stay down. You can't break us because we were never fragile to begin with. We adapt, we endure. And in 2026, survival is an achievement. So to the Gen Xers who are still in the trenches, fighting for every inch, I see you. You are the grit in the gears that keeps this whole machine from slipping. We don't post for pity, but we do keep score. If you're grinding right now, holding a family together by a thread or working that second job, hit the like button and comment "rock on," not for the algorithm, but as a nod to everyone else in the trench with you. This brings us to the cost. They call us the sandwich generation. A sandwich is soft. We are the Atlas generation. We are holding up the sky. On one shoulder, we have our aging boomer parents. The generation that had it all is now living longer than any generation in history. We are the ones filling out the Medicare forms. We are the ones driving them to appointments. We are the ones watching the people who raised us slowly fade away. On the other hand, we have the kids, the boomerang kids, Gen Z, the generation that can't afford rent in this economy, the ones who need a soft place to land because the world is too hard. We absorb the shock. That's what we do. We are the societal shock absorbers. We absorb the financial shock so our parents don't go broke and our kids don't go homeless. We absorb the emotional shock so the family doesn't implode. And the cost? It's our health. The doctors are seeing it. Deaths of despair among our peers. Addiction, suicide, overdose. Why? Because we don't complain. We don't ask for help. We just carry the weight. We practice selective empathy. See, the younger generations think empathy means holding space and talking about feelings. We don't have time for that. We fix problems. When someone is crying, we ask, what is the logistical solution? Do you need money? Do you need a ride? Do you need me to make a phone call? That is our love language, logistics. Let's lighten the mood. Let's talk about the vibe. Have you noticed that 2026 looks a hell of a lot like 1994, just with higher definition? The music topping the charts, it's rock, it's heavy. The fashion, baggy jeans, flannel, combat boots. The movies, sequels to Beetlejuice and Top Gun. This isn't an accident. We are the cultural firewall. We are the tastemakers. Why does Gen X culture dominate 2026? Because it was the last era of authenticity. We are tired of the polish. We are tired of the toxic positivity of the millennials. We are tired of the manic chaos of Gen Z. We want the grit back. Look at the soundtrack of 2026. It's not bubblegum pop. It's the raw, unpolished feedback of Nirvana. When Kurt Cobain screamed, he wasn't performing, he was bleeding. That shattered the plastic facade of the 80s, and we haven't accepted anything fake since. And it's Alice in Chains. Why Alice in Chains? Because Lane Staley's voice, that haunting, sludgy, beautiful harmony with Jerry Cantrell of pain and power, is the only thing that resonates with the reality of the world today. It's dark, it's real, it's heavy. Alice in Chains wasn't about saving the world like Pearl Jam. They were about enduring it. They were about looking into the abyss, acknowledging the addiction and the dirt, and finding a harmony inside of it. That is the mood of 2026. Real, unfiltered, loud. We are the reason vinyl records outsell digital. We are the reason minimalism is the luxury aesthetic. We are the gatekeepers. We are the studio heads, greenlighting the movies. And naturally, we are making stuff we like. We don't chase trends, we set the baseline. And the baseline for 2026 is cynical, sleek, and industrial. I said Alice in Chains and Nirvana, but maybe that's not your soundtrack. Drop the one album or song in the comments that defines the Heathen Empire. Let's build our playlist. There is a myth that Gen X is bad at tech. Let's kill that right now. You merely adopted the dark. We were born in it. You didn't invent the internet. You just live in the user interface we built for you. We are the tech emperors because we are the only generation that is fully bilingual. We speak analog and we speak digital. We can read a paper map, fix a carburetor, and hold a conversation without looking at a phone. But we also learned to code in BASIC. We built the servers your TikTok dances run on. We laid the fiber optics. In 2026, we are entering the legacy code crisis. The systems that run the world, banking, airlines, power grids, were built 25 years ago. AI can't fix them. The Zoomers can't fix them. Who do they call when the cloud goes down? They call us. They call the guy who remembers Unix commands. They call the woman who knows why the code was written that way 20 years ago. We are the custodians of the machine. We know where the wires go. We know the secret knock. Without us, the screen goes black. So, what's next? There was a rumor floating around that Gen X was going to retire early, that we were going to cash out, buy a condo in Portugal, and finally get some peace and quiet. Psych. We aren't going anywhere. We will be in power through 2035, maybe even 2040. We are going to ride this wave until the wheels fall off. Why? Because for the first time in our lives, we have the control we always wanted. We spent 40 years being told what to do. We spent 40 years being the latchkey kids, the slackers, the cynical bystanders. Now we are holding the reins. We aren't handing them over because a calendar says we're 60. We like the game. We're good at the game. We've spent a lifetime leveling up, grinding through the difficult levels without cheat codes, and we are currently playing with a fully maxed out skill tree. Why would we unplug the console now, and when we finally do step back? The systems we built, the houses we framed, the code we wrote, the businesses we founded will keep running. Unlike the generations before us, we aren't stripping the copper wiring out of the walls on our way out the door. We aren't burning the ladder. We are building infrastructures designed to last because we know exactly what it's like to inherit a mess. So, to my fellow heathens, whether you're in the boardroom, on the job site, or just grinding it out to keep the wolves at the door, keep stacking, keep fixing, keep shrugging. The Empire is strong. You earned every gray hair, every scar, every callus on your hand, and every dollar in that account. Enjoy the view from the top. You climbed the mountain without a safety rope, and the air up here is fantastic. And to the younger generations, learn from us, or don't. Whatever. We'll still be here when the next crash hits, ready to reboot the server and get us back online. This has been your 2026 Empire Update. If you want to hear more about how we run things, you know where the button is. If you don't, whatever. The Empire runs with or without you. Stay feral, stay heathen, and turn up Alice in Chains. Peace out.